Many thanks for staying with us. It's still a conversation, and we have another conversation right now. We're talking about quest for safe waterways here in Lagos, and we have Abdulbaqi Ladi Balogun. He's the Managing Director, Lagferry Services. Here, we delve into issues affecting our communities, and, following the recent incident involving a boat fire, Lagferry has reaffirmed its commitment to passenger safety and fleet modernization. We'll explore the agency's initiatives to enhance safety on Lagos waterways and the future of water transportation here in Lagos. So we'll begin this way with the big story, the elephant in the room. Would like you to take us through what exactly happened during the recent fire incident on one of your ferries.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. It's an unfortunate development, but in life, everything we do associates with a risk. So it's part of what we continue to live with. Mm-hmm. So, and when we are a very proactive agency and we have a very proactive government, in place. So I must give kudos and thanks to Mr. Governor, because he acceded to our request to have all the boats in our fleet insured. Yes. Okay. And he also gave us this approval for the first time in the history of public transportation in Nigeria to have what we call passengers liability insurance scheme. For every passenger that we board our boats on any trips or any routes, you are covered. So for the past 4 years, we have been implementing the personal accident insurance and the passenger insurance. But unfortunately, for the first time, we experience it. And of course, we have to activate the particular insurance. And the insurance company actually came forth, and they stood by us. I want to use this opportunity to thank the passengers, immensely for staying by us, for the expression of solidarity, and also the media. They play their role in bringing things to the public without hiding anything. Everything that happened was transparently reported, and they do a kind of follow-up. Even yesterday, when we had a joint inspection by other authority, the LASWA, the NIWA, the Fire Service, Safety Commission, Ibile Oil and Gas, Marine Police, they were there. The media were there also to cover and, to report what transpired. So, because it happened, yes, it has happened. Are we going to stand, akimbo and watch it happen again? No. So, as a responsible government, we need to do something very, very meaningful to have that everlasting solution. So we delve into a lot of areas, all aspects, apart from the operation. We look at a boat configuration, the structure of the boat, and we look at the incident that led to the, the fire. So these were the issues that were in the next couple of days. We're going to bring it to open to the members of the public. What actually happened, what caused the fire, and what we're going to do to prevent it. Because this happened to Lagos State Ferry Services. It doesn't mean that it has not happened to other private sector people, but they may be dealing with it in their own private corner. But for us as a public agency, we need to come to the open and let the lessons we learned from it, be available to all members of the public, particularly the industry operators. Okay. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. So what led to the fire? Categorically, I won't be able to tell you 100% of what happened until the report of the finding, is made available by all these experts that we put together. But on that particular Thursday in the morning, the waterway will be open to operation by 6:30 a.m. every day. So by 6 a.m., as part of our standard operating procedure, the engineers must check all the boats and certify them fit, sailworthy, for them to go on the operation. After that, the captain will proceed to, we have a floating fuel station. built by Ibile at Ikorodu, at Falomo, and Ijugwen, but 3 of them actually at our jetties. So they will take the boat and fuel their boats. And they will come back to the floating pontoon, you know, to pick up passengers. That particular boat, MF Igbega Eko, was the first boat to cast out on that day, you know, and it must leave by 6:30. So by 6 a.m., all the parameters, you know, all the checklists were, you know, everything were ticked and they were approved. So the captain, of course, ignited the engine and he moved to the fuel station, you know, got fuel, 460.1 liters. Okay, yeah. So he ignited the engine again and he moved back to the pontoon, to the floating pontoon. The passengers were waiting, you know, this early morning passengers, the first set of passengers, they are, you know, they must resume in office or their businesses by 7 a.m. So all of them were already, you know, at the platform wearing their life jackets. So when the captain called on them, and they were on board, 20 of them, 18 of them, and 2 crew, 2 crew members, making 20. Then the captain, you know, entered into the boat. It started, then there was a boom, a bang, a big bang. You know, it's an unfortunate effect, but you know, you can't comprehend what could actually cause it, because the engine has been started twice that same day, okay? He started it, moved it to the fuel site, come back, started it, move it back to the pontoon. So, and the 3rd time he's trying to start it, you know, to start the movement, then there was a boom, explosion. Yeah. So, you see, I must give kudos to all our crew, because it shows that the training and the retraining we do for them, they're actually, you know, into it, and they have the skill upgraded as well. The first thing they do when there is emergency is to scamper, is to make sure that they ensure no soul is lost. So the first thing they do is to carry out what we call rescue management, and they ensure that they evacuated everybody. Everybody.
So there were no fatalities.
Yeah, even when the fire was raging, you see, because again, I thank them. You know, the skill and the training, the experience actually, you know, came to the fore that day. Because if they had not done what they did, it would have been a calamity for Lagos State and for the entire waterway industry. You know, our boats are made of fiberglasses, which is inflammable. Okay, and these boats were tied to each other. And the floating pontoon is also made of rubber. Do you get it? So so they ensure that they untie. In fact, they have to cut the rope, which they use to hoist the boat onto the pontoon. They cut the rope so that they make sure that the boat, the boat that engulfed, the fire engulfed the boat, you know, floated away. So that other boats nearby
will not catch fire.
So most of the crew of the other boats too, they are also on their boat, and they have to move their boat away.
Wow.
That was what saved us, and that was what led us to have a minimal loss. We lost 1 boat, no life was lost. There were some injuries, and all these people were taken immediately to Ikorodu General Hospital and 1 private hospital nearby, FEMA Hospital.
Okay.
And that I need to say thank you to the medical personnel at the Ikorodu General Hospital. They were rushing as emergency patients, and they were attended to immediately. And at the end of the day, out of 9 passengers that were, you know, taken to the, that have several,
injuries.
Some burns, some injuries, you know, 7 of them were discharged. So only 2 were under the supervision and, you know, observation of the doctor till the next day. So 7 of them were discharged. We thank the doctors, all the medical personnel at the Ikorodu General Hospital, and the FEMA Hospital as well.
Thank God that all of them are doing well right now.
They are back to work.
Yeah. So,
and the insurance company also, you know, all the medical bill were foot by the insurance company.
I like that you are really giving a breakdown of what happened, and everyone can see the sincerity in it. But again, what are you doing to ensure that people do not lose
confidence
in, you know, traveling by water? Because someone can say, you can speak all the English you want, but I will never try it again. So what are you also doing to, you know, ensure that people do not lose confidence?
You see, interestingly,
And how has patronage?
Yeah, interestingly, that's what I wanted to say. 30 minutes after the whole thing, happened, operation resumed.
Wow.
Passengers were there, ready to go on their daily. You see,
So the
this,
emergency response
you know,
was
in
so
my
swift.
in my opening remark, I said in life, there are risks associated with everything that we're doing. You see, on daily basis, when you're on the road, you are a journalist. You report accidents. It happened everywhere. And they hear it happened. Okay, even where we have one of the safest. When we're talking about EHSQ, one country that's so much into it that they don't joke with it at all is United States of America. They have a couple of air mishaps recently.
Course, yes.
You know, air collision, plane collided. You see, it happens everywhere. On the road or the rail, it happened everywhere. As long as you are moving out, you have to transfer, you have to move from one place to another. Accident happens. So that's the reality of life, which we all have to confront. So apart from that, operation resumed immediately 30 minutes after the whole thing was cleared, and we ensured that the wrecked or the fired boat, was moved away, for further investigation and other things. All other operators resumed operations. All passengers, were calmed and they moved on. You see, one thing that gave Lagferry an edge, and we did it deliberately because we are so intentional about providing leadership in the water transportation sector. And because of that thing that we did, we've seen that some of even the bus operators are coming up with their own passengers accident insurance too. Because you need to have a kind of confidence building initiative in your operation, so that passengers will know that
Can transfer
if there's
to the
anything,
passengers, yeah.
if there's anything untoward that happen, maybe any accident can happen anytime, just like we just said. I am covered. I am saved. I have insurance to fall upon, and that's what we keep telling them. And this is one thing that we want to encourage all public transporters to embrace. It's not something out of this what that you need to do. You are ensuring the passenger, you are telling the passenger that anything can happen. It can be man-made, it can be natural. So if accident happens, accident has happened. So what are you doing to, compensate or, to ameliorate the whole thing or to take the burden away from the passengers? It's insurance that will come to the rescue. That's exactly what we're trying to do with that. And we thank God that the governor gave us a listening ear. He gave us the approval. And we saw it happening for the first time, even after 3 consistent 4 years of implementing the insurance scheme. So that's one thing that we give, to them. Another thing that has to do, which is common to the water transportation sector, is the wearing of the life jacket. Just yesterday, the Crown Princess of Sweden, we took her from 5 Carry Terminal to Tomorrow Onishiwo Island. She was wearing the life jacket. Throughout the trip, after disembarking from the boat, we took off the jacket from her. When she was going back, she put on, she said, "Where's my life jacket?" Yes, and we have to give it to her. And when she alighted also at 5 Carry Terminal, when she arrived at her destination, we took it off her. So passengers should not see life jacket as a burden. Actually, it should be a kind of confidence booster that I am safe while I am on the waterway. So life jacket is one thing that we don't joke with. It's part of our, operation safety. Is number one safety priority for us. Is you must wear life. Without life jacket, you can't come aboard our boat. And if you look at the history of fatalities, recorded in the boat mishap in the years back in Lagos State here, you will discover that 95% of those that were casualty were actually not wearing life jacket. Yeah. Particularly by the private boat operators or the traditional, the local boat operators. They just amassed people, put them together, and they started moving. No. This is what our regulator has come up with and say, no, we cannot allow this to continue. So they started even donating life jacket free of them. And some of them that usually go to the market, they get substandard life jacket. So we are leading the way. We are leading the way. We are telling them, still the standard we expect of a modern water transportation system in Lagos State. So Lagferry is not even competing with them. We are just showing them, demonstrating what we want to be on our waterway. So life jacket is one of the confidence booster for our passengers. The insurance scheme is another. And now, come to the boat itself. That's another way we are going. We discovered that, okay, most of the boats, you know, when we observe the trend, a boat mishap, you know, tragedy on the waterway, we discovered that most of the boats were not built, you know, with all the security, all the safety features that's supposed to be. And some of them were actually local boats, you know, just manufactured just to, you know, earn a living. So what we did, what Mr. Governor did is actually to develop the ecosystem, you know, in the industry. We have, instead of taking all your money, you know, your hard-earned money to go abroad and bring in a boat, we're actually having our boat being manufactured in Lagos.
Yes, I remember.
So all the recent boats that we acquired, or even given to private operators, they were made in Lagos by the local operators. And they were built to international standard. All the safety features that you think of, yeah, they're all there. So boat appearance, the boat that you're using, the watercraft that you're using to convey passenger from one place to another is also another thing that we need to work on. And that's the message we are trying to pass from Lagos State to the national operator, that's NEWA, you know, to embrace this kind of technologically improved watercraft made in Nigeria. You don't need to take your dollars to go and get all this thing. So when you see all this kind of, I said Princess was so happy being on the boat. It's a local boat. It was not built in Sweden. It was not built in London. It was not built in America. It was not imported from Dubai.
It was made in Lagos.
It was made in Lagos. And we had the Crown Princess of Sweden on board. All the diplomats, they were all on board yesterday. If you combine the worth of the Super Eagles players, all of them together, they were billions of dollars. We transported Super Eagle from Nigeria to Port Novo, Republic of Benin, using these same boats. You see, we have to embrace our local, you know, resources with the infusion of technology, especially where we have expertise, where we have specialists, you know. And these are the areas that we think we need to focus on, a kind of backward integration, so that we use that to develop our economy. So boats itself, the appearance of the boat, the build of the boat, the structure of the boat is actually another confidence booster. We have to do away with the moleways on the waterway, just like the way BRT deal with the moleway on the road. So, and that's the essence of what Lagferry is trying to demonstrate to the entire world, particularly the people of Lagos State.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming. I'm glad, you know, you've talked about proactive measures and, of course, the safety of lives of those passengers that were on the boat, and, of course, all the other measures you have taken, Lagferry Services has taken to ensure safer waterways in Lagos. Thank you very much, sir. Abdulbaqi Ladi Balogun is the Managing Director, Lagferry, and we've been talking about quest for safe waterways in Lagos. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We'll go on another short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.